study of talents in Phnom Penh, Cambodia. And our presenter is Miss Su Lin Pu. And okay.
Lin Hu.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I pronounced wrong. She is a lecturer and head of international relations, Department Asia Euro University. And our discussion is Dr. Sok Sot. He is a dean of Faculty of Education, Royal University of Phnom Penh. So without any further delay, Miss Lin, are you ready for your presentation?
Thank you very much.
Okay.
Yeah. So, good morning, everyone. And first of all, before I get started, I just would like to say thank you for coming, and also thank you for giving me opportunities to present. My advisor, he is not able to join here. He is the one that who gave me a chance to, or he gave me guidelines to present in here, because I do believe that these presentations will help me to improve, and then all of your suggestions will be really able to apply for my research work. And also, I just would like to say thank you very much for the Dr. Sok also for joining this program with me. So before, I just would like to start it first. As your colleague has mentioned, our topic is about the for the blind students in assessing higher education, and I focuses on the case studies of the Cambodia, Phnom Penh, and also even in the Phnom Penh, I just targeted from the two university only, which is like Asia Euro University and also the Royal University of Phnom Penh, which I'm working as a part-time there as well. So two university that I'm working for, which will be easier for me to get access to do my research and data collection. So although it's just in the Phnom Penh, but only two university from the Phnom Penh, one is private and one will be in the government sectors. So I just would like to explain a little bit about just in normal introduction, which is about the background of the research. And then as you all already know, like nowadays, a lot of technology things are changing, and then students are, because of the COVID as well, we have changed a lot of digital education systems and everything's are changing. And likewise, and also the Cambodia is trying to prioritize for the education according to the SDG 4, and they are trying to be the inclusive and equality education for everyone. And then they also trying to promoting for the education systems, how they can be improved as well. However, although these type of systems policy, they have the policy and stuff, but still we are facing a lot of challenges, as you all see in there everywhere, and we all are assessing everywhere wherever we go, especially since we all are in the educational background and also working in this type of education field. We have seen so far that we may see like a lot of the blind students or any other disability people are facing a lot of access in the every corner. So Cambodia is interestingly about 180,000 people are visually blind people, but some of them are able to cure, but unfortunately some of them are in the rural area, are not able to access the healthcare and any other related matters, and we are not able to cure, and that is the reason that it's we could say a little bit high in the region as well. So in terms of the disabled students and who are in the higher education, what I understand is currently the students are about 200, but what I got the information from Ministry of Education, which is only 40 plus. Let me check data, 48 or 45 students are assessing their higher education currently. They are blind students, and then last year where they graduated already. Just a moment. So in terms of 43 Cambodian students are in the higher education, and among all 43, 13 were women in the education, higher education, assessing the higher education. And in 2021, they have totally 11 students got graduated from that 43 students as well. Okay. So currently, like what we all already know is like we still the universities are all of you all know that even library access is not good enough. Even myself, who is working for the university, I really want to come this library rather than like university library. So these type of like a lot of things we still have absence in the university system. Also, like you may see a lot of these societal marginalizations and any other issues are facing it as well. And we need to understand these type of matters and how we are going to help with the situation. So currently, and also another thing is we don't have much research there, which is focusing on that is also main thing that I choose this research, because we don't have research that focusing for the blind students who are assessing for the higher education, mostly from the educational perspective, not from the human rights perspective. So this one have to be clear with that, and then that is a reason that I'm choosing and working on these topics as well. So the aim of this one is like I just would like to be to examine the challenges of the higher education for these blind students in Cambodia, and we are trying to promote inclusiveness in their education systems. So in my research, I'm going to use a qualitative research and case studies approach. As I already mentioned, like I'm going to choose from the students who are from the Asia Euro University and IUPP only. And I will be doing with the in-depth interview to the 10 students by name, maybe like snowball sampling methods. And then I will be working together with the NGO, and which will be getting data, which I'm currently getting data from the, please correct me if I'm pronounced wrong, okay? Kokswatme organization, right? Okay, so I will be, most of the information, the students' information, meeting them, is I got the information from that organization, which is located near the Aeon, not Ian, it's Chipmunks, Sansok or something like that. About there is some school that they keep the students who are like attending the university and school and anything. They are providing the some kind of dormitory and any other services in there as well. So I will be collaborating and working with them for the data collection, and also I have to obviously will have to work with the government organization for the other additional data, since I got some kind of information from the Ministry of Education, and also I have to take the Ministry of Health data from the Ministry of Health as well for the information as well. So for these type of with the professional working group, I will be going with the open-ended questions and the semi-structure interview as well. So theoretical framework is I'm going to use a two theoretical framework for my analysis, which is like social reconstructionism. So many of you who are from the educational background, you all already familiar with the social reconstructionism theory, and then which is like we are more targeted and focuses with the how to say like how society change and fairness, and then how can we make it for the positive change of their society. Social reconstruction theory is like I use it from the George Comte, who has been written there about the Dare the School Build a New Order. So I learned from that books, and then I'm trying to apply in this my research work. And another one is one of my favorite author. She is Sally Mary. I inspire her a lot. She's give me a lot of inspiration. So I'm going to use a vernacularization theory, which is like for the legal norms and practice and what we need to change from the any other society and local context. How are we going to change and stuff? See, these type of things are I am going to be focuses with the with my theoretical framework as well. Let me drink water. So continuing the explaining of my research work, that theoretical framework is like social social reconstructionism, which is it's transforming the potential education for bringing for social change and also the social injustice. For the context of these blind students, for assessing in the higher education in Cambodia, I will be using the education institutions to actively promote for their inclusivity and also advocate for the rights of marginalized group and challenges and norms to practice in the, perpetrate the inequality. So within this type of framework that I could put like blind students' experience in higher education, we can be analyzed based on their access of the resources and support services, opportunity, and also whether they can do the meaningful participation in the class or not by looking at these type of the framework. So we can be examine the institutional policies and any other whether this is practice is either for the facilitate inclusive education for these blind students. So adopting this social reconstructionism perspective, also as a researcher, we can be critically evaluate the educational landscape in Cambodia and also the identify area for improvement, such as the development for these specialized support program, accessible technologies, and also inclusive practices for the empower blind students and promoting their academic success as well. So for the concept of the vernicularization is adapting the materials and learning from the materials to meet the specific needs of the different communities. So we can do like some kind of the things that we needed for the blind students, recording electronic books and any other materials. And also according to the Shelley Mary theories, providing the cooperating teaching method accommodate diverse learning styles and also the including those visual inspiring students. And then, of course, we need to be providing some kind of the inclusive learning environment of essential, important fostering classroom and something like that, which we need to be adopted in the community as well. So as I'm the year one, so I'm doing my PhD. I'm still year one first semester. So this is so like preliminary. So my finding is not really like deep finding yet. I just would like to inform you first. This is like what I get it from some kind of like the informations what I have received at the moment. So according to the Miss Ratney, she just talking about like she is a student she is facing a lot of the problem at the university, which is what she highlighted is the accommodation and accessibility. What I know is these organizations they have provided different places. Some places are for men and some places are for women, girls to. But for that one, it's like what I heard so far is like for the these type of girl dormitories are not really like not really okay for the students who are in the blind students. And also accessibility is not just Ratni, also Maypulot. They both are suffering like a kind of the accessibility at the university, which is everyone knows that and none of the Cambodian university is able to have any access for the disabled people as well, not just blind students, but also the other people in the disabled. Does anyone knows any university providing access for like disabled students in Cambodia? Obniente? No, not yet. Not sure. Because even in some developed country, I have seen so far is like they are not really ready yet. And although they are rich country, developed country, but in terms of accessibility, is still lack and still challenging for the disabled people to get access into the type of the university buildings and stuff as well. So another thing that what they have been so far is talking about the reading materials and access. So Maybula is one of my students, and also he has been struggling, and I have been seeing that it's hard for the some of the questions and exams, and it's not really like the teachers are not really prepare for the students who are in need. They do not have any specific plan and preparation. So for them, although universities arrange it, okay, you can do one day by yourself, please come. For them, they have a separate time, separate things that they can do, and it says, but the questions that they received are not really disabled friendly. And then one time, one teacher was absent, and that subject is an English subject. They have to take the same question. However, it is hard for me to ask them, and they also did not see clearly, which is like, it's hard for them to be answer back to me as well. So these type of challenges are like, I have been so far seeing so far in front of me what is happening. This is just like only one thing which is related to the exam. So other thing, they are facing daily challenges as well. Another thing is like struggling is the financial burden. So for them, not like other students, whenever they commute to school, they have to spend money on the how to say, like they need to spend money on the tuk-tuk, and tuk-tuk also they need to be with a specific driver. They cannot take the random tuk-tuk and who is there. So what is wrong? What is happening is like what I understand is these students that I know, they have to spend more money than normal tuk-tuk bill, because they need to ask somebody who knows the tuk-tuk access from the what is it called, the organization and the dormitory, and that man bring it up, and then they cannot climb by themselves. So they have to climb with that tuk-tuk driver, and tuk-tuk driver charge extra for that one every day. So, but what I really appreciate, these students are like, they never absent the class, not like other students, always work hard. And another challenges is like, which I did not really write, I did not write it here, which is like, in here, these type of the disabled learning process, like the machines and the materials are not in Khmer version, sorry to say that. So the students are, first of all, if they want to use these type of access the materials, they need to learn the English first, and then they have to be good at English, and then they can access these type of things as well. So their phone are specific phone. They cannot use the Khmer version, but they just type it like, I don't know what kind of phone is, I cannot see, but they just type it like something like, but that one is supported by the NGO and they got free. And then that one is automatically, everything's are in English. And then what I have known so far is in their school, there is a computer that they can understand by the reading material if I send them in PDF. So for me, my student is always talk to me openly, so I can help as much as I can. And also my questions type are more like he can understand and able for him to answer different type of like accessibility. The question type will be different. So these things that I can manage for my department, and I also inform my lecturers to do the same for the disabled friendly, but other departments are still lacking it, and then they still neglecting towards these type of students as well. So oh, sorry, I'm pressing here. And then, so this one is my student as well. His name is Van. So Van is like who inspired me to write this research work, because he is really hardworking student. I can use his picture because I got the permission from him, and I asked him, and then can I write something about for you guys? And then he was so happy. And I was presenting about like how when I was in China last year, December, also I was presenting about like how we can help to these type of disabled communities and stuff. And also he has been participating for answering my questions and then providing some information about it. So all of these connections and like asking these people, or like kind of like getting data, all of them are because of his help as well. And I feel like I'm really thankful for that, and that is why I'm putting him here as well. Okay. So he is the very hardworking students that I have, and then like he inspired me to work for the disabled students as well. So speaking of like back to the applying back with the analysis part of the theoretical framework, and then like what they are being so far, and then when we analyze this, we have been so far like although like we do have the inclusiveness and stuff, but we still have to we still have to improve in the case as well, and also social reconstruction and vernacularization in the like we can be seeing like, okay, they cannot really, the other country thing context or legal system context are not really applying in the practical level, and we have seen like a lot of things missing out in the research work as well. and also the like principles are also like we need to make a change, and also the materials and accessibility format and accommodation, all of the learning styles are we need to be promoted. The sad things about my university is all of this classroom all are on the top floor. So the students are really hard for them to go and then access it. And then I believe that even in IUPP, some of the buildings are they don't really have a toilet. You need to go down from like how many floor, like 4 or 5 floor, and then going down and then like walking like in the forest or something to go to the toilet again. So these type of accessibilities are not really okay for the people with the as a blind student if they are attending the university, not really convenient. And so this is like in terms of the accessibility and the material converting, we don't have converting any materials at the university. That's what I have been seeing so far at the moment as well. So yeah. And then the in terms of the I am a little bit afraid to say so. This one is a conclusion, and I'm a little bit afraid to say so. This is a recommendation because we cannot make a change yet. We can bringing out like when we get the data and showing it, but I am not the policy maker. I cannot make a change. So I'm really hesitant whenever I do the research or giving recommendations and doing things. That term is very sensitive for me to write about it. So, but okay, this is what I have been so far for now. During one semester of my research work. So like obviously we need urgent reformed for the practicing in the education system to change it like as inclusiveness and so equality and non-discrimination things. And then also the we also like social reconstructionism and vernicularization is we have been offered a lot of framework for understanding these challenges, and also maybe like we could make it positive change for the education sector. So in terms of the recommendation, I understand the Cambodian government has been doing well so far. They try to promote not just in the education sector, but also in the health sectors in every sector. However, we need to, enforce more policy, whether it is like inclusivity and accessibility within the educational institution. Although like, okay, we have the policy, everyone has an equal access, but yeah, they can go to the university. But the reality in the practical level is the university institutions are following or not. We need to follow up, and these type of inclusiveness we need to do support services such as like barely and other facilities for assessing technology for these type of students who are in need as well. So another one is what I have been so far is the faculty training. For me, okay, I understand my students, but other teachers are they just neglected. Other faculty members maybe they just neglected, and then like they don't really care about like kind of like faculty. So like how we can provide. They even neglected for their how they go or then I said wait. Like kind of like a lot of things are going on at the within the institution. So we need to be providing awareness and faculty members and also like staff to have know like how we can help in the students and also the support to their academic success as well. For the curriculum adaptation, the curriculum is also need to be materials need to be meet with the specific needs of the students, and also textbooks and materials and formats are supposed to have it at the university to help them for their access. For me, I do it for myself like alone, and I don't get any support, and I need to help. Like my students are like, okay, teacher, how can I do? Okay, maybe you cannot read it. Can you listen to YouTube video, and can you listen this type of audio? So I have to give him all of the lesson in advance first by link and then providing them, so like he will have some kind of idea. For example, my subject is international relation. So like for example, today I'm going to study about the realism theory. So I just have to find out that some of the realism theory related link from the YouTube, and the students that he can study in advance first before he come to the class, and then he can be able to catch up with the lessons and something like that. But we don't really have the real audio books and audio textbooks that which I can provide it to my students. No, I don't have it yet. Yeah. So we need to be accessibility of the curriculum adaptations are very important as well. Campus accessibility is like last a few months ago. Not a few months, last month. Yeah, I had a motorbike accident. I could not walk, and then even me myself, like I can see, but still I have a difficulty to go to the university buildings and stuff. So everybody's know that accessibility is not really okay yet in the university structure. And also, like you may see many of the building in Cambodia, like university buildings, you need to climb first, and then later on you can have another, like elevator or something like this coming later. So it is really hard that students are without having any support, they cannot do anything, and then there is no how to say that the structures are giving them for the accessibility. For the in the case of Singapore, I believe that they have the blind people for the access. Even money notes are able for their blind people to be able to access as well. So this type of like we need to learn these type of which country is like applying better system. But obviously we need to also like kind of the when we apply back to the local community, whether it is able to do it or not. Also, we have to consider it back, which vernacularization theory is explaining about it. Sometimes like, okay, the other countries are able to apply, but with this country is able to apply or not. When you are taking from the other country, we need to change back to the local context also or not. So these type of things are vernacularization theory is help us to understand more about it as well. So for example, last time, as I mentioned, my students he has to improve his English to use this type of equipment because there is no Khmer version. So why cannot we make it and prepare for the Khmer version for the everyone to get access? So for them, they are in the higher education level, and then they have a certain education thing. So that's why they can speak English. That is why they can access these type of material. For those who are not able to access these type of thing, how can they able to use these type of things? So this is how vernacularization theory look at us like, okay, we can take it, but how are we going to make it fit in our local community as well? Okay. And then obviously these things are nothing is cheap. Everyone's all of the supports, whatever it is, financial support is very important. But as far as I know, it's like all of them, they don't need to pay school fees. They were supported by the NGO. So and also I believe that the the students she got it from the Cambodia government, Mr. Homanet institution or something like that. And then others are, what I know is they got it financial support school fees from the NGO, but like they do not get any bursary and everything because they still have to spend like, I believe my students spend $5 to $7 a day to commute with the total. You can imagine if normal person like who doesn't have an income spending $5 to $7 a day for coming to school every day is really, really tough. And mostly are like they are living in the like they are coming from the rural area and come and studies and living in the dormitory. Dormitory provide the food and free accommodation, but still these type of daily communication, and also like they still sometimes want to have snacks, something like that. That would be good that if in the future if we can get the support to these type of students who are in need with the bursary and monthly stipend will be very good. Unfortunately, currently what I have been so far is like Cambodia is relying on the NGOs a lot. And the problem is when NGOs are very limited time. So when the NGOs finish the period of time, it's done. So for example, this NGO project is only for 3 years. So they are going to support the students for 3 years. And then the next year student is problem. They don't get any support, and these type of things happen. This is also one of the challenges that we need to promote in the financial support projects. Yeah. So this is the presentation for now on, like my semester of the 1 semester of my research, of my work. And if you have any question, please feel free to shoot me. Yeah, thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Ms. Lin, for your nice presentation and hard work into a deep understanding about the blind, also the Cambodia student with the challenges. So I would like to give the floor to Dr. Sotsot. You will have around 20 minutes for the discussion and comments for your further study. So
Thank you very much. Thank you, Lynn, for very good presentations, and also um, uh, for the bravery to go into this area, um, and you have made a good start. I have a few comments thus far. Uh, First, make sure your topics and and your research methodology uh, um, would cover something um, that could be impactful and useful for this area that you are working on. Um, you you have looked from certain perspective already, but I think it's more fair to look from a more comprehensive perspective. Um, I will talk more later on, but for the moment, make sure that your topics um, it has that profound value of PhD in particular and research in general. PhD, I don't want it to be just a piece of paper that will sit on a shelf somewhere and collect dust. I want it to be, especially in Cambodian context, we want it to be very impactful and useful. For your PhD to be impactful and useful, it's important to make uh, to include every perspective into your research, into your PhD as well. For example, it's good to cover perspective from the student themselves, and also be careful with your uh, positioning. Positioning mean how you stand yourself um, in terms of theory, in terms of data, and in terms of data analysis. Because it's already show that you are taking side with these students that you have personal contact with, and you expect the institutions to do more to them, um, but you did not really look into other things that the institutions have done, because I did not see any evidence of what the institutions have done already. It's good that you talk about policy, institutions, curriculum, campus, and finance, for example. I think you need to group them into maybe big three things: policy. You can look into national policy and um, institutional policy. Okay, and then you look into curriculum. Um, the curriculum in higher education, does it consider inclusivity or not? And if it's not, perhaps there are other reasons why. You have to dig down deep into that in order to say anything that um, the curriculum itself is not designed for visually impaired people or other challenging people. Um, Another thing is finance. Um, when you when you look at policy, you look at their action plan, you look at their finance. If they have all the things and it still doesn't work, that's another thing. But you haven't looked into that, so it's not fair. Institutions the same, curriculum the same. Curriculum, when you look into curriculum, you look into the institution as well, the provider of the curriculums. Do they have the policy? Do they have the finance in order to do that? If they do and they don't implement it fully, then perhaps you can say the things that you have said in this presentation. Finance the same. where do you expect the finance to come from when normally there is no action plan for perhaps, or when there's no policy, let alone the finance in order to make the what you want to happen. So for me, I think in order to make this research more neutral, you have to be less biased yourself to give voice to both sides. Um, uh, be careful with your positioning, and positioning should be a theoretical framework as well. In your theoretical framework, you listed three frameworks, which I could not see very good connections between what you want to do and these framework. I would suggest you look into three others frameworks. One, social justice and human rights. So could be a framework, and I know you're smiling, you're laughing. Perhaps you have looked into it, but in other area. But I think this is more appropriate for what you are doing here. So what? Because we inclusivity is all about social justice. We want everyone to experience the same things. Um, to be able to realize their potentials in the same equal opportunity. But what happens and so on, and you can use that to analyze. Human rights is the same thing. So what is meant by human right policies in educations? There are the law in educations. There are the practices of the institution, and so on and so forth. Another thing is perhaps you can combine them together. Humanism, another theoretical perspective that you can that you can make use of is humanisms, in order to frame your questionings, your uh, asking questions from to the participant and to the institution and to the policy. Another more suitable one also should be empowerment. Okay, I suggest the three. Perhaps um, they can be. You can make more decision then. You can review them all, the three that you have, the three that I suggest, and then you create a theoretical framework of your own that explore this area, and then you start exploring them and include a good balance of perspective from policy, from institution and finance, and then from the students, the teachers, and so on, and your own self. You raise a case of your own self when you had an accident, and you found it very difficult, let alone being visually impaired. And also be careful with the using of the word when you in your topic you use visually impaired, but in your writing you use the word blind. Being politically correct is very important as well. Don't use it in such a way that it's discouraging the reader or the participant of yourself. And although they give you permissions to show their face, their picture, use it with some thought or consideration yourself, because um, they don't know what. I don't think you have described to them the picture that they look like, because they can't see for themselves. And if it doesn't have to be, you don't need to just, or if you need to show just part of their face, part of their body, part of, in order to show them respects to, even you get permission doesn't mean you have to just, let it go and use it without considerations. Um, NGO, again, when you talk about NGO and you talk about a lot of things, you did not really look into positionings very well. You have to, first of all, you say NGO, government doesn't seem to do enough. NGO, they have done a lot, but after NGO finished and so on, you should also look from a more critical perspective why NGO exists in the first place. Why don't they try to help with the governments and so on? And if they know that their funding will run out, why don't they try to do something that continue? Facebook Cruz Atmai and the institutions for visually impaired has been now being incorporated into the government and Madame Pala, Lokjumtil Pala is now an advisor of the Ministry of Education, working, teaching in disability for Cambodia as well, and so on. So these are the key suggestions that I would provide to you. Watch out for your positioning. Acknowledge, how you think, how you write. Every time you think, every time you write it down, you look at what you write and say, why am I writing like that? Who am I? And then you have to acknowledge why you are writing it like that. And in order to make your research more valid, you have to acknowledge that if I write like that, what would be the other side of the coin say? And as such, I should interview them, I should look into the literature, or I should also acknowledge that, for example, in terms of NGO, they have done a lot and so on and so. But why not NGO work more with the government? Why did they decided to be NGO in the first place? What was the situations and what can be done about it? And when you finish in your finding and recommendation, you includes everything that you took into consideration. You took the theoretical framework into consideration and provide finding and recommendation as such, and also you took the whatever you find out from your data, you provide recommendation from that perspective, and always give recommendation in such careful manner in that it can be implemented, it can be used, and who is going to use it, and how do they know about it? If they don't know about it, what can you do? If they know about it and they don't use it, what should be done about it? Make sure that the research that you write, the PhD or the research or whatsoever, it's not just for publishing and then it's done. The research so far, all this book as such, are they only meaningful or useful when we look into it, we use the knowledge, and we change the society and the situations of some sort. These are the feedback that I have. Um, Perhaps the other can share something also. Thank you.
Uh, Thank you very much, Dr. Sok. And I have learned a lot and giving me opportunity to see like from the positioning, which I really admit that I was neglected. I feel like I just found it myself that I'm biased. Yeah, that's really helpful. And then also I will be looking back all of the theory that you have mentioned above. Also like I will be checking out. And also thank you for it is good that you told me like to narrow it down, which I'm going to focus is on whether in the policy part it is with the institutional and national policy, and then also like curriculum and financial, like three, and narrow it down in a group, and then it will be easier for me to analyze as well from looking at this paper position. Thank you very much for that. Yeah.
Thank you, Dr. Thank you, Dr. So for your good comments and spending your time to our research seminar. And so now I let the audience for the Q&A.
Good morning, and actually, it's just my wonder about your topic. Firstly, your topic, I just feel like you are describing a shell in the ocean. We mix the sand with the shell, so it's quite difficult for understanding about the uh, disabled student in the world of general education, because in one thing we find it difficult for them to join in the society for disabled people, and in education it quite even more difficult. But there, have you ever spent time to look at the kind of special education in Cambodia before you start this topic? Maybe there's some point, okay, because in Cambodia we also have a kind of special education that provide education to disabled people, but I don't really know that in which level that they will provide education to the student from primary school to secondary or higher education. The second one, I just wonder about your theoretical framework because I don't see the link or difficulty from disabled people into the education system. You try to show a kind of material generation or perspective, but I don't see the link between uh, the disabled people to the education system, how difficulty they face, and in the theoretical way. And the last one, um, for I think from Dr. Suksot comment, I learned a lot, but I just want to know about if you can describe the role of NGO in supporting disabled people and how they enter and how they hand over. This is very important because you say they work only 3 years after they don't have enough fund and they have to hand over. So they have to have exit strategy and so how they deal with that. So thank you. This is my wonder. And Lena, I'm from UPP too.
Thank you very much, Paul. Yes, in terms of like what you have pointed out regarding the general education or special educations toward the disabled people, which I did not focuses on. I just only like look it towards like university educations that who are going there only. So I hope that that is the first questions that you have asked and I have answered. And then thank you very much for the theoretical framework. I will be discussing and then with the Dr. Sok more for my detailed part of the theoretical framework to link it more. But the reality is like verticalization theory that I have been I have wrote the papers about it before as well. It is like they have a lot of successful stories that applying one of them is a disabled rights that I have right in Thailand, and then it was like applying like how other countries applying and how do they success. Okay, what can we learn from that other country and how are we going to make it change for this country bidding the same contents and make it change something like that. So this one is I wrote it before and that is the reason that I applied back. However, but thank you very much and I will be again looking back towards my theoretical framework carefully, and in the future I will be discussing with the Dr. Sok, Dr. Pirom, and also with the Dr. Sambo together for my research work. And then yeah, for the NGO informations, that's what I got interview from the NGO, and then that is that's how I can provide for now on because I am just first semester and just only 3 months of my PhD studies only. Yeah. Thank you very much, Paul.
Thank you for your question. Anything else from the audience? From CD, Bong, do you have any question? Any question from CD? It is good for you to ask about the education and the blind.
Thank you, Lynn, for your comprehensive presentation. Yeah, I'm Tiang from Syria, and we used to met. And I think you are also a member of Cheating, right? Yeah. Okay. Back to your presentation. I understand that it is quite new for you, just the first semester of your PhD. After listening to your presentation, I'm still like not so clear about your research question. Only one is challenges that the visual impaired student encounter, right? Like, is there anything else that you plan to look for?
Yeah, thank you very much for the questions. Yes, because I'm sorry that I didn't put the research questions in here. I will explain it and tell because my research question is still in the progress and I already have it, but still like we are still like some make a change. First is yes, what challenges does a blind or visual inspired students encounter in assessing the participating in higher education? And the second one is what are the supports and strategies that needed to promote equitable participation for those students in higher education. And the third is what motivate that disabled to go to the higher educations. These are currently three research questions at the moment, but it is still, still like progress. And yeah. Thank you
Yeah, I
very much.
understand.
Sorry that, it was my fault that I forgot. Yeah. Okay.
And also would like to suggest you contact CDPO. It is Cambodia Disabled People Organization. And one more thing is consider to use the term people with disability
Oh,
and
yes,
avoid using blind.
Okay.
I think that, and have you ever read the inclusive policy of the Ministry of Education?
I read in general only, that not really finished yet. Yeah, it's in general version 1. Yeah, because Bong So P, he gave me, my boss used to give me to learn more about it. Yeah.
Yeah, like echo to Dr. Sot's recommendation, you should include like perspective or aspect or why from different stakeholder, or perhaps got to talk to the special education department of the Ministry of Education as well. And I think that's it from me.
Thank you very much. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I will.
Okay, Bong, thank you for your question. Anything else for the question from the outside participant?
Thank you for your presentation. My name is Rex Mai, a research fellow at the Center for Natural Resources and Environment at CDI. I agree with Dr. Sokso that he mentioned you need to be more, how to say, comprehensive analysis from different dimensions or positioning yourself, right? But I just want to know from your experience, what could be the challenges from the institution or university, not the student. Student, we know they have challenge, but I think organization or institution, they also have challenge to provide the inclusive facility for the student with disability. You also mentioned that you try to provide or to help a lot to your student, and you also find yourself that also challenge for you, right? You need to work hard more in order to make sure that your student can access to the study material. So that could be one challenge from the who provide the education service to the student. And the organization or institution, they also have their challenge, right? And I know you will go through that and analyze more on that, but initially just want to know from your observation or your experience, what could be the challenge of the education service provider that they challenge in order to make their education services more inclusive, their facility is more inclusive. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah. I'm so glad that I presented here so like I could learn a lot, because if myself, I don't see myself. So right now, like I have seen like different perspective, and it helped me to grow much better. I wish that next time when I finish some part, I would like to do it again so like I can get a lot of comment, and it will help me a lot as well. Thank you very much. Yeah.
Okay, any question? So I can read the question from the online participation.
Yeah,
Okay.
how many people can join?
How many? Around 10 participants, I think. Mr. Boran Lange, he asked, where can I buy bracelet and stylus in Cambodia? Do you know? It's okay.
Oh, okay. Yeah. No, I do not know yet. What I know is like only the NGOs are providing it, which even me, I'm not really familiar with the machine, yes, honestly speaking, yes. So I'm sorry, Bo. But thank you for the questions though.
So to participate in online, do you have any questions? Any questions from the audience? Okay, so now I think no any more questions, and thank you very much again, Dr. Sot and Ms. Lin, for your hard work in this research, and so far we have learned a lot from the research, and I hope these comments and questions will get back to you and consider for your further study and success in your research.
Thank
And-
you very
and-
much.
Yeah, and hopefully we can you can share us the final research result and show you again about it.
Still a little bit long way to go.
Okay.
I'm so scared of that. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Okay, before end the session, I would like to give to the cameraman for taking the photo.
I'm really thankful for everyone for giving me opportunities in here. Really, like all of your comments are really valuable to me. Thank you very much. Yeah.
You're welcome.